Hi everyone, and welcome to All Drums All the Time, where we talk about all drums all the time. I thought that I would do something a little bit different today and talk about one of the metronomes that I use. And if you're in the market for looking for a metronome and you're shopping a metronome, I use the TAMA Rhythm Watch RW200, and I can briefly go over some of the features of the unit that I really like. So starting with the unit itself. This is just the package that it comes in. On the back of the box, it just overviews some of the benefits and the features of the RW200 and some of the things at a glance that it's capable of doing. This is the unit itself. There's a bunch of things on here and features on the unit that I really like. It's aesthetically pleasing. It's well designed. It's very, very low profile, and everything, all the controls are right up at your fingertips. Very, very easy to get to. And using a metronome, you need it to be accessible. And it does have a mounting screw in the back that goes into the mounting bracket, which is sold separately. There's an illustration of that bracket on the back of this box here, which is the same bracket that I have. It's pretty universal. You can use a bracket of your choice. It's very, very sturdy. Once it's in that cradle, it doesn't move. So there's very, very good use there. The unit itself is powered by a 9-volt battery. The battery has two purposes. Obviously, one, to power the unit when it's just sitting by itself, but also number two, this is a programmable unit, which means you've got the capacity of 30 songs that can be programmed in this unit. But once that battery goes, you'll have to reprogram everything in that unit. So what I do like about it is it does have a DC jack for auxiliary power, which I always use when I'm playing live or in the studio. I want it plugged in to make sure this thing doesn't go down on me. It doesn't lose power, it doesn't stop, there's no interruptions. Also, as it is mounted, and I use this actually mounted right underneath my hi-hat, and it does have the option for an auxiliary pedal to start, or a remote start to start and stop the unit. So that's a good little feature. I don't use that because I find that the start stop button is very, very effective. There are two modes on this unit, and I'll talk about that a little bit. So I'm going to talk about some of these down here. The mode button, which is the second button from the right, is basically there's two modes. There's one which is called the practice mode, and there's one which is called the stage mode, which I'm going to illustrate to you now. So if I'm in starting the set, I want to get the BPMs ingrained, kind of put into my head. I may want to play the whole song with this in my in-ears. That'll just keep going. So that is what they call practice mode. To change that into stage mode, you just depress the button, it goes into stage mode, and you'll see that this one here will go for 2 bars, basically giving you a prequel of what the tempo of that song is going to be, which is a nice little feature to have. The one thing I'm not too keen on it is that, as you saw, it went from song 1 automatically after those 2 bars to song 2. So you have to ensure that if that's what you've got, and they start talking again, or the audience is doing something, or the guitar player's got to go tune up his guitar, you better ensure that you go back to 1, or else you're going to be doing your count at 107, which is your second song, or the next song, whatever that BPM may be. See, it went again from second to the third song. So in my opinion, I'd really like to have that kind of tweaked so that it kind of just stays, it'll just stay at the one beat and just leave it that way, because more times than not, you're going to be hitting that again. Also, with this unit, there are 2 sounds. This is one sound, and that's the second sound. So essentially, those are the only sounds that you do have to work with. I would be more than happy to have more than one. Like a lot of people, a lot of drummers like the cowbell sound. Some people like a tambourine. Some people like the shakers. I find that this one is a little bit harsh, And, when you're turning it up, it really can really drill into your eardrums after a while. So I wish there was some further options. Just talking about the display of the unit. It's an LCD display, which is lit up, and it's very easy to see. I like I do appreciate the LED blinkers, but there is one thing that I wish they would look at and maybe have an option to keep this light on longer. A lot of the times the drummer's in the back, a little bit low light, and when that light goes down, you either have to start this again or fiddle with these buttons to get that to be lit up again. And I think it's probably around 15 seconds or so, and then it starts to go off. And then you have to do something to get that back on there. I just would prefer maybe to have the option of keeping that on. As mentioned, the unit does have a program of 30 songs you can put in there, which is fantastic. There are times we're going to have more than 30 songs, but I find a way around that. Say if song 14 was 105 and song 29 was 105 and song 16 was 105, I can just keep going back to number 14 on my list and just do it that way. So there's always workarounds for that, but I really find that that help. In addition to the jacks on this side, which is going to be your DC jack, the on-off switch, and the remote, they also have two additional jacks on the other side, which is for your headphones, which is the 1/8 inch, or a line in, which is a 1/4 inch. I opt for the line in most of the time. Usually in venues, I'll have my ear mix, and everything's going into my ear mix, and then that line will go into here. So this line's going to go into feed into my ear mix, and then I can balance my my click there, start my click here, and I'm good to go. So this I find very handy. And also on this, if you were doing a jam or you're working a club and the guitar player, singer, bass player turns around saying, hey, what about this song? And they say, we're not sure the tempo, or even in between sets, they want to know the song that they're doing. You can figure out the tempo by just a tap, and it'll keep it, and it'll actually embed it in there. And you can actually put it into the store and store as another song as well, or overwrite a song, depending on what you want to do. So I find that a good little feature as well. So here's the metronome on the mount, and as you can see, it's nice and sturdy. It's right below the hi-hat, and just very, very close to the snare, which makes it pretty accessible for anything that I need. So when I'm at a live venue, there you go. Start it up. It's going by itself. I can make any adjustments that I want to do. Maybe I want a little louder, I want a little quieter, and then I'm good to go. Again, like I said, it'd be nice if the the screen stayed on, but at the end, I mean, when I turn it off and turn it on, it goes. Every time you scroll, that will actually light up again too. Again, here is the cord, the power cord, which I've got in there, and when I'm running a 1/4 inch for my in-ears, it comes out of here. That's one of the things I'm not that keen on, is the positioning of the auxiliary cords. They're on the sides, so this one comes out and can get in the way of the snare mic here. But we do our best and work with what we've got. I would much prefer it in the back of the unit, so all the cords would be kind of out of the way and leading off to the back. But what we have here is very very useful. If you're looking for one and you're in the market for a metronome, consider it. I think it's a good one. I'm not sure what the retail is in your area, but it's well worth the money, and it's pretty indestructible. It's been through a lot. It does come with a little carrying case, but essentially the carrying case is not really for that much protection. Moreover, it's really for avoiding scratches and so forth. It really doesn't offer a lot of protection, but it's nice to have when you put it into your electronics kit, or you're throwing it in with your hardware or whatever, which I probably wouldn't recommend. I put it in with my electronics, and you can see it's done well. So Thanks for watching. I hope this helped you out. Please, if you have any questions, comments, feel free to leave them on the channel. I'm always listening, and I learn from you guys as much as everybody else. So thanks so much for watching. Take care.